Hello everybody, welcome to 21st Century IAS Academy Delhi Campus C.A.R.E initiative, Current Affairs through Reverse Engineering. This is Goli Varsha. Let us look into the first article for the day. Greenhouse gases hit record high in 2022. Okay, and this was set by United Nations agency, that is WMO. What is WMO? World Meteorological Organization. In prelims perspective, the information about WMO is important. So we'll look into some basics. Okay, so WMO is first of all a specialized UN agency, and in the year 1988, WMO plus UNEP together, they formed the IPCC. Now what is IPCC? It's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. And that IPCC won the Nobel Prize in the year 2007. Okay, and third point is this WMO started an initiative called the Global Greenhouse Gas Watch. Global Greenhouse Gas Watch. Okay, and what is the purpose of this one? To monitor the trends in the Earth's atmosphere. Alright, so these are some basics and some initiatives of WMO. Alright, we'll get into the MCQ. Global Greenhouse Gas Watch is an initiative of World Meteorological Organization. Okay. We've just seen, right? So, C is the answer. Now, consider the following statements. Climate and Clean Air Coalition to reduce short-lived climate pollutants is a unique initiative of G20 group of countries. It is not G20 group of countries. It is an initiative of UNEP plus 6 nations. And why was the question given in 2017? Because I'll tell you some basics, then you will understand the context why it was given in 2017. Because in 2012, this particular initiative was in place, and after 5 years they've given, because the initiative completed 5 years, they've given it in 2017. All right, so centenary years, 5 years, 10 years, these are all important. All right, so some basics about CCAC. It was formed in the year 2012 in Paris, and it is a coalition of UNEP plus 6 nations. And what are those 6 nations? USA, Canada, Mexico, Sweden, Bangladesh, and Ghana. Okay. India is a country partner since 2014. All right. And why was it in place? To reduce short-lived climate pollutants. Okay, now what will come under short-lived climate pollutants? One is black carbon, that is produced via soot and incomplete combustion of fossil fuels. Second one is methane, which has the global warming potential of 20. And third one is HFCs, hydrofluorocarbons. And fourth one is tropospheric ozone. It is not directly emitted, but it is formed by sunlight-driven oxidation. Okay, and precursors like methane, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxides. Okay, these are the precursors to the tropospheric ozone. All right, so these are some basics about CCAC. All right, now the CCAC focuses on methane, black carbon, and hydrofluorocarbons. Yes, so only 2 is the answer. Next article. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh says a massive public outreach program will be launched soon to popularize contemporary India's 9 top science stories rolled out through different science ministries and departments. Okay, now we'll come to the MCQ. Purple Revolution in India is associated with. See, some basics you have to know how to guess the answer here. For that you need to know some basics. Okay, now if you know this revolution, no, rainbow revolution. Now what is rainbow revolution? Various colors in the rainbow revolution indicate different farm practices. Okay, now this rainbow revolution has green revolution, white revolution, yellow revolution. Now green revolution indicates food grains. White revolution is for milk, yellow revolution is for oil seeds, blue revolution is for fisheries, golden revolution is for fruits, silver revolution is for eggs, pink revolution for meat, and grey revolution for fertilizers. Okay, more or less these revolutions and their associated aspects are color related. All right, if you know this, then purple revolution will be associated with lavender. Lavender color is also very famous, right? So B is the answer. In PIB article, today's PIB article, this purple revolution was mentioned, and hence this MCQ. All right, now Operation Flood is also popularly known as the White Revolution. And Operation Flood, it was launched on 13th January 1970. And who is the person associated with it? It is Padma Vibhushan Dr. Varghese Kurian. Okay, and he is known as the father of White Revolution in India. All right, so these are some basics. Now, what is Green Revolution associated with? With food grains. Blue Revolution with fisheries, and yellow revolution with oil seeds. All these things, no, they're given from this rainbow revolution concept. All right, so now we'll get into the next article. Life over death. Abolition of death penalty should form the core of any reform in the justice system. It is disappointing that the parliamentary committee that examined the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the proposed criminal statute likely to replace the IPC, has not made a recommendation to abolish the death penalty. This statement can be directly picked up and it could be given as a question in prelims. Okay, so the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, it did not recommend abolition of death penalty. So death penalty is intact. All right. The article discusses that the death penalty should be removed. Okay, that is the crux of the article. And going by the statistics, the court awarded the death penalty to only 7 people from 2007 to 2022, while all death sentences were either set aside or commuted to life in 2023. Okay, you need to know some basics with respect to death penalty. So, Article 72 and Article 161. Article 72 deals with the clemency power of the president, that is pardoning power, while 161 deals with the same thing with respect to governor. All right, and then there are terms here: pardon, commutation, remission, respite, and reprieve. You have to know the meaning of all these words because there is a potential in the prelims to get these words in match the following. All right, so what is pardon? It removes both the sentence and the conviction. Okay, so it means if a person is pardoned, he will be equal to a person who did not commit any crime. All right, so that is pardon. Now, what is commutation? It denotes the substitution of one form of punishment for a lighter form, and that is precisely mentioned here in the article. All right. Now, remission. What is remission? It is reducing the period of the sentence without changing its character. All right. Now, what is respite? Awarding a lesser sentence in place of one originally awarded. And what is respite? It means stay of the execution for a temporary period. All right, so these 5 terms you have to be very careful, and you should also know the difference between pardoning powers of the president and the governor. What is the difference? Okay, see, the president can grant pardon if the punishment or the sentence is given by court martial also, but this governor cannot do so. All right, that is first difference. And second difference is president can grant pardon in all the cases, even if it is a death sentence, but governor cannot do so. All right, so these are some basics you have to know. Right, now we'll come to the article. Consider the following. Law Commission of India recommended that death penalty be abolished for all crimes other than terrorism related offences. Yes, this is correct because Law Commission in 2015 recommended this. Now, governor and president should exercise their powers in the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. The second statement is also right if you know the Article 74 and 163. Okay, president should function and according to Article 74 and this is Article 163, both of these have this term Council of Ministers. All right, and how the president and governor should function with on the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. Okay. Now, in the case of Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab 1980, Supreme Court upheld the constitutional validity of death penalty. This is correct. And even before this, there were cases like Jagmohan Singh versus State of Uttar Pradesh case in 1973 and Rajendra Prasad versus State of Uttar Pradesh in 1979 and this case. Okay, Supreme Court upheld the validity of death penalty. What did it say? It said that capital punishment, if it is provided in the law and the procedure is fair, just and reasonable one, then the death penalty can be awarded to the convict. All right, so all the three statements are correct. Which of the following statements are correct? UN General Assembly in November 2012 adopted a resolution banning death penalty. Yes, this is correct, and that is precisely the context why it was given in 2013. Okay, this happened in 2012 and the question was given in 2013. India voted against the resolution. Yes, this is also correct because India always felt what Supreme Court reiterated in this case, Bachchan Singh versus State of Punjab. Just now I mentioned, right? So this is also correct. So C is the answer. Next article, RBI stops Bajaj Finance from giving loans under two products. This is the first time the RBI has used these rules to restrict a large player from adding customers. India's central bank on Wednesday barred Bajaj Finance, one of India's largest consumer lenders, from issuing loans under two products with immediate effect due to deficiencies in adhering to digital lending guidelines. Now, what is digital lending? Digital lending means lending through web platforms or mobile apps. Okay, so RBI put in place the digital lending guidelines. Okay. Now, what is the underlying principle of these guidelines? It says that lending service providers should not be involved in handholding of funds flowing from the lender to the borrower or vice versa. This is the underlying principle. All right. Now, we'll get into the MCQ. Consider the following statements with regard to digital lending guidelines of RBI. Okay, a lending service provider should not be involved in handling of funds flowing from the lender to the borrower. Yes, this is the underlying principle that we discussed. So, one is correct. Any fee charges which are not mentioned in the key fact statement cannot be charged by the regulated entities to the borrower at any stage during the term of the loan. Yes, otherwise it would be a violation, right? So this is also correct. Regional entities shall ensure that any fees, charges, etc. payable to lending service providers are paid directly by them and not charged by the LSP. Now, what is LSP? Lending service provider to the borrower directly. This is also correct. Any lending done made by regulated entities should be reported to the credit information companies irrespective of its nature and tenor. Yes, to maintain transparency. So, all the four are correct. All right. Now, consider the following statements. In terms of short-term credit delivery to the agriculture sector, district central cooperative banks deliver more credit in comparison to the scheduled commercial banks and regional rural banks. No, this is wrong because scheduled bank itself, all the scheduled banks together contribute to about 70 to 80% of the agriculture and allied credit. Okay, so this is wrong. All right. Next, one of the most important functions of DCCBs, that is District Central Cooperative Banks, is to provide funds to the primary agriculture credit societies. Yes. So, 2 is the answer. All right. Next article, gold drives trade deficit to a new high. Now, what is trade deficit? Trade deficit means it is an amount by which cost of the country's imports exceeds its exports. Okay, you're importing more and costly things and you're exporting less in terms of value. So, there is trade deficit. Okay, and gold drives trade deficit to a new high. This is the context. Now, we'll get into the MCQ. Consider the following statement. China is the largest producer of gold. Yes, we all know this, right? Switzerland is the largest exporter of gold. Yes, this is also correct. India is the largest importer of gold. No. See, for the year 2022, Switzerland was the largest importer of gold. It accounted for around 22.6% of all the gold imports of the world. So C is wrong. I mean, third statement is wrong. So only two statements are correct. What are the purpose or purposes of the government sovereign gold bond scheme and gold monetization scheme? To bring the idle gold lying with the Indian households into the economy. Yes, this is the aim. This gold bond scheme, no, it was launched in the year 2015, and it aimed to mobilize the gold held by the households and facilitate its use for productive purposes. Okay, so that was its aim. So one is correct. When one is correct, B is gone. All right. To promote FDI in gold and jewelry sector. No, this is not the purpose. As I have already mentioned, that the main aim was to mobilize the gold held by households and facilitate its use for productive purposes. Okay, that is one thing. And second one is to reduce the country's reliance on import of gold. So when 2 is gone, D is gone. To reduce India's dependence on gold imports, yes. So 1 and C is correct. All right. NASA ISRO prepare to launch joint space mission. Okay. The NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar (NISAR) is set to be launched in the first quarter of 2024. So this is the context. What is the purpose of this NISAR? It will reveal the dynamics of carbon storage and uptake in wooded, agricultural, wetland and permafrost ecosystems and the response of ice sheets to the climate change. Okay, so this is the purpose. Now we'll get into the MCQ. NISAR recently in news is related to artificial intelligence, no. Joint earth observing mission between NASA and ISRO, yes, this is correct. And this NISAR will be first of its kind in space to systematically map the earth using two different radar frequencies, the L band and the S band. Okay. Now, NASA's Deep Impact Space Mission was employed to take detailed pictures of which comet nucleus. Okay, it was given in the year 2007. It is not Halley's Comet, not this, it is Tempel 1. What is Halley's Comet? The comet which reappears every 7 to 6 years. This is very famous, no? Yeah. So D is the answer for this one. Next. Ray Chaudhuri, the physicist who quietly defied the system. Now, why is this article in place? Because 2023 is the birth centenary of whom Amal Kumar Ray Chaudhuri. Okay, he defied pressure from Meghnad Saha to pursue his passion for general relativity. His 1955 paper on the Ray Chaudhuri equation revolutionized the field of relativity and was key to the work of Roger Penrose and Stephen Hawking. Okay, so the scientist is associated with relativity. Alright, so please remember. Now we'll get into the MCQ. Which of the following statements regarding gravity is correct from a technical perspective? Gravity is the force of attraction between any two masses, and its strength is directly proportional to the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. Yes, this is the Newton's law of universal gravitation, no? There are two masses and the attraction gravitational force between these two is directly proportional to the, if m1 and m2 are the masses, gravitational force is directly proportional to what? m1, m2 by is the distance, then it is d square. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Now, which one of the following is the reason why astronomical distances are measured in light years? Now, what is light year? Light year is the distance that light travels in 1 year. Okay, and because the distance between astronomical distances means what? Distance between astronomical objects. It's huge. So you cannot measure in kilometers. All right. And light year will be used to measure it. Okay. What is the speed of light? It is approximately 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Alright. And light travels 3 lakh kilometers per second. And per year it is 5.88 trillion miles. Okay. So this is used to measure the interstellar, to measure the astronomical distances. Alright. Now they are asking the reason. Distance among stellar bodies do not change. No, because they keep moving away from each other, or they move towards each other. All these things will be happening. Gravity of stellar bodies does not change. No. Light, if it loses mass, it will definitely change, right? Light always travels in a straight line. This is also not the reason. Speed of light is always same. This is the reason. Because if the medium of traveling changes, be it solid, liquid, or gas, still the speed of light does not change. It is constant. On the other hand, speed of sound changes according to the medium in which it is traveling. And in vacuum, it doesn't travel at all. So that's why we will take the speed of light. Clear? Now, India signs IPEF supply chain agreement. Now, in prelims perspective, what is IPEF is important, and who are the members? Okay, so some basics. It was launched in the year 2022. It is a US-led initiative that aims to strengthen economic partnership. Okay, economic partnership, sustainability, inclusiveness. Okay, and what are the pillars on which it is based? It is based on 4 pillars. Pillar number 1 is trade. Pillar number 2 is supply chain resilience. Pillar number 3 is clean economy. And 4, it's fair economy. Okay, so these are the 4 pillars on which it is based. And who are the members? Australia, Brunei, Fiji, India, Indonesia, Japan, South Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Vietnam, United States, and Thailand. Okay, so these are some basics you have to remember. Now, consider the following. How many of the countries listed above are members of Indo-Pacific Economic Framework? We have just seen the members, right? Vietnam is there. Yes, India is there. Philippines is there. Sri Lanka, no. Cambodia, no. So, 3. B is the answer. Which of the statements about Trans-Pacific Partnership are correct? See, Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP-11, it is the third largest free trade area in the world in terms of GDP. Okay, this you have to remember. And what are the countries that are involved? These are some basics that you should know, and I'm telling it for revision purpose. Okay, 1 is Canada, Mexico, Chile, Peru, Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, Brunei, and Japan. You should also remember that India, USA, and China are not part of this one. Okay? Now, TPP was signed by 12 Pacific Rim nations in the year to 2015. See, initially it was there, 12 countries were there in 2015. US was also a part, but later this US fellow, it withdrew from this because President Trump signed a presidential memorandum to withdraw the US from the TPP on 23rd of January 2017. Okay, so that so this statement is correct. Okay, in the beginning 12 were there. All right, so 1 is correct, which means C is gone. TPP is likely to be a game changer in global trade as member countries account for about 40% of the global GDP. Yes, this is also correct. So D is gone. India is a founding member of TPP. No, this is wrong. Okay, so 3 is wrong. So this is gone. B is the answer. All right. Now, PM launches tribal welfare schemes. PM Narendra Modi on Wednesday promised to work on a mission mode to deliver justice to deprived tribals and said he will repay the debt owed to them while launching rupees 24,000 crore project for vulnerable tribal groups on the birth anniversary of tribal icon Birsa Munda. See, November 15th is celebrated as Janjatiya Gaurav Divas. All right. Why? Because it is the birth anniversary of Birsa Munda. Now, who is Birsa Munda? Birsa Munda in the freedom struggle is associated with the Ululgan revolt. Okay, Ululgan revolt, or it is also known as Munda rebellion. And it led to the formation of the Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act of 1908, wherein the tribal rights were recognized and it restricted the transfer of tribal land to non-tribal people. So that is his contribution. All right. And Ulihatu is the birthplace of Birsa Munda. This also you have to remember for prelims. All right. There is also mention about Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. This is also important in prelims perspective. So, what is it? It is a nationwide program aimed at reaching out to citizens who are eligible for various central sector schemes but did not get benefit from it so far. Okay, so that is Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. All right. Now, MCQ. Consider the following statements with regard to PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal group. Now, some basics about PVTGs. See, PVTGs are characterized by pre-agricultural level of technology, 1, 2, and low level of literacy, 3, economic backwardness, and 4th, a declining or stagnant population. Okay, so these are characteristics of PVTGs, and in total, there are 75 tribal groups that are recognized by Ministry of Home Affairs, not Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Be very careful. Ministry of Home Affairs will recognize these PVTGs. Okay. And Odisha is the state which has highest number of PVTGs, that is 13. So these are some basics. Okay. Now come to the question. Among them, Saharias has the highest population. Yes, this is correct. About 4.5 lakh. Okay. While other PVTs like Sentinelese and Andamanes have numbers in double digits. Okay. So this is correct. Odisha has the highest number of PVTGs in India. True, we have seen in basics part. Bondo and Birhor are notified PVTGs in the state of Manipur. No, they are not notified from Manipur. If you follow the current affairs properly, you will come to know that it is Odisha. Alright, these two tribes belong to Odisha. And from Manipur, only Maram and Naga are the PVTGs. So, third statement is wrong. B is the answer. Right? Consider the following statements about particularly vulnerable tribal groups in India. PVTGs reside in 18 states and 1 union territory. Yes, this is true because what is that 1 union territory? It is Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, so 1 is correct. B is gone. Option B is gone. A stagnant or declining population is one of the criteria for determining PVTG status. Yes, we have seen in the basics part. So D is gone. Now, if you know any one statement between 3 and 4, you can answer because after observing the options, you will come to know that. There are 95 PVTGs officially notified in the country so far. No, 3 is wrong. There are only 75. So, this is gone. C is the answer. Without reading fourth statement, you can mark the correct answer. All right. Now, next article. India's FDI share gained more than others in its backyard. We'll get into the MCQ and understand the nuances. China is the largest recipient of foreign direct investment in the world. No, it's USA. Okay, from 1990, this is the story. USA has been the top destination for foreign direct investment. All right, so this is wrong. The United States was the largest source of foreign direct investment, FDI, in India in the financial year 2023. Yes, this is correct. The order was as follows: USA, then Mauritius, United Kingdom, and Singapore. All these 4 countries invested in India. Okay, in the following order, decreasing order. All right, and these 4 countries collectively contributed to about 60% of the inward FDI in the country. So, 2 is correct. Now, which among the following countries was the top contributor to India's FDI for the year 2013-14? Okay, then it was Singapore. Now, if the question is being asked, it is USA. All right. This is it for today. All the best.